The soft glow of the fireplace painted our living room in hues of amber and gold. My children, Emma and Max, sat cross-legged on the plush carpet, their faces illuminated by the dancing flames. The warmth of the fire contrasted sharply with the cold winter night outside, where snowflakes gently kissed the window panes. "Mom," Emma began, her blue eyes wide with curiosity, "you promised to tell us a Christmas story tonight." I hesitated for a moment, my heart heavy with memories. "All right," I whispered, taking a deep breath. "But this isn't your typical Christmas tale." Max's eyes sparkled with excitement. "Is it a spooky one?" I nodded, my gaze drifting to an old photograph on the mantel. It was a picture of me as an 8-year-old, standing in front of our family's Victorian home in the quaint town where I grew up. The town was nestled amidst dense, dark woods that always seemed to whisper secrets. "It was the winter of 1990, I began. Our town was abuzz with festive cheer. But for me, that year was different. It was the year I received the Advent calendar." Emma interrupted. "Like the ones with chocolates?" I smiled faintly. "Not quite. This calendar was a gift from Mr. Hawthorne, an old family friend. It was beautifully crafted, with intricate designs and tiny wooden doors for each day leading up to Christmas. The first few days were magical. Behind each door was a hand-painted picture. On the first day, it was a serene snowfall, and to my delight, the first snow of the season graced our town. The second day revealed a wrapped gift, and I found a surprise present under my pillow that night. The third day showed a lost puppy, and sure enough, a stray found its way to our doorstep. But as the days went by, I continued, my voice dropping to a hush, the images began to change. They weren't cheerful or festive anymore." Max gulped. "What do you mean?" I looked into the fire, the memories flooding back. On the 12th day, I opened the door to find a broken toy. That evening, my favorite doll, the one Grandma gave me, lay shattered on the floor. No one knew how it happened. Emma clutched her teddy bear closer. "Did you stop opening the doors?" I shook my head. I was young and curious, but with each passing day, the images grew darker, more ominous. By the 20th day, they depicted scenes that no child should ever witness. The room was silent, save for the crackling of the fire. I could see the fear in my children's eyes, but I needed them to understand, to know the truth. "That Advent calendar," I whispered, "wasn't just a calendar. It was a harbinger of events, a window into the future. And as Christmas approached, I realized that some gifts are better left unopened." The days leading up to Christmas were a blur of fear and anticipation. Each morning, as I opened a new door on the Advent calendar, my heart raced, wondering what ominous prediction awaited me. The town, with its festive decorations and cheerful carolers, seemed oblivious to the dark cloud that hung over me. On the 15th day, the calendar revealed a shadowy figure standing outside a window. That night, as I lay in bed, the wind howled outside, rattling the window panes. I pulled the covers up to my chin, trying to shake off the unease. But then, I heard it. A faint whisper, like someone calling my name. I mustered the courage to peek out of my window, and there, in the dim moonlight, stood a silhouette. It was gone in an instant, but the image was seared into my mind. The next picture was of our town's woods, the trees barren and the path eerily illuminated by a ghostly light. That day, rumors spread about strange occurrences in the woods, whispers among the trees, shadows that moved on their own, and an unsettling feeling of being watched. By the 18th day, my parents had grown concerned. They noticed my anxiety, my reluctance to open the calendar. But how could I explain the inexplicable, that a simple Advent calendar was predicting real-life events? The 19th day's image was the most chilling yet, a house engulfed in flames. I remember the cold dread that settled in my stomach. That evening, as we sat down for dinner, the smell of smoke filled the air. We rushed outside to find our neighbor's house on fire. Thankfully, no one was hurt, But the sight of the roaring flames, the sound of the crackling wood, was a grim reminder of the calendar's power. Desperate to break the cycle, I decided not to open the calendar on the 20th day. I hid it in the attic, hoping that by ignoring it, I could escape its predictions. But fate had other plans. That day, without having seen the image, I experienced a series of unfortunate events: a broken vase, a lost family heirloom, and an unexplained power outage. It was clear that the calendar's grip on my life was unyielding. Each day's event, whether seen or unseen, would come to pass. The weight of this realization was suffocating. On the 21st day, I found the courage to face the calendar again. The image was of the woods, but this time, there was a figure standing amidst the trees, its face obscured, its intentions unknown. I knew then that I had to confront whatever awaited me in those woods, to face the source of my torment. That night, armed with a flashlight and determination, I ventured into the woods. The trees seemed to close in around me, their branches like gnarled fingers reaching out. The deeper I went, the more the line between reality and nightmare blurred. And then, in a clearing, I saw him, the ageless family friend, Mr. Hawthorne, standing with the cursed advent calendar in his hands. The clearing was bathed in an eerie silver light, casting long, distorted shadows on the ground. Mr. Hawthorne stood still, his eyes fixed on me, the advent calendar clutched tightly in his hands. The very air around us seemed charged with tension, and a cold wind rustled the leaves, making me shiver. "Why?" I managed to whisper, my voice trembling. "Why did you give me this cursed calendar?" A sad smile played on Mr. Hawthorne's lips. Jessie," he began, his voice soft and melancholic. "I never wanted this for you. But the curse of the calendar is relentless. It demands a bearer, and I was desperate to be free." I took a step closer, anger and confusion swirling within me. "So you passed it on to an innocent child. You let me suffer?" He looked down, guilt evident in his eyes. "I was once like you, trapped in the calendar's cruel game. Every day, living in fear of what the next image would bring. I thought I could bear it, but as the years went by, the weight became unbearable. The only way to free oneself is to pass it on." Tears welled up in my eyes. "But why me? Why not someone else?" Mr. Hawthorne sighed. "The calendar chooses its next bearer. When your grandmother passed away, I felt a pull towards you. It was as if the calendar knew you were the one." I clenched my fists, trying to process the revelation. "So what now? Am I doomed to live with this curse forever?" He shook his head. "There is a way to break the cycle, but it comes at a great cost." I looked at him, desperation evident in my eyes. "Tell me. I'll do anything." Mr. Hawthorne hesitated for a moment before speaking. "The demon trapped within the calendar feeds on fear. It thrives on the terror it instills in its bearer. But if you confront it, face it head on, you might have a chance to break free." I took a deep breath, determination filling me. "How do I confront it?" He pointed to the calendar. "Open the last door. Face whatever lies behind it. Remember, the demon feeds on fear. You must remain strong, no matter what." With trembling hands, I reached out and opened the final door of the advent calendar. A gust of cold wind enveloped me, and the world around me began to blur. I found myself in a realm of darkness, the oppressive silence broken only by the sound of my own heartbeat. And then, from the shadows, the demon emerged. It was a formless entity, constantly shifting and changing, its very presence exuding malevolence. It circled me, its whispers filling my ears, trying to break my resolve. But I stood my ground, focusing on my love for my family, my determination to protect them. With every ounce of strength, I shouted, "I am not afraid of you! Release me from this curse!" The demon let out an ear-piercing scream, its form disintegrating before my eyes. And just as suddenly as it began, the darkness lifted, and I found myself back in the clearing. the advent calendar lying in ashes at my feet. The first rays of dawn began to pierce the canopy, casting a golden hue over the clearing. The ashes of the advent calendar lay scattered, a testament to the night's harrowing events. Mr. Hawthorne stood a few paces away, his ageless face now showing signs of weariness. "You did it," he whispered, a hint of admiration in his voice. "You faced the demon and emerged victorious." I nodded, still trying to process the ordeal. But at what cost? Will the curse truly be broken? He sighed, looking at the ashes. The demon is vanquished, but the curse of the calendar is ancient and powerful. It may lie dormant for now, but there's no telling if it will ever truly be gone. I felt a pang of despair. So all of this was for nothing? Mr. Hawthorne placed a reassuring hand on my shoulder. "Not for nothing, Jessie. You've bought yourself and your loved ones time. The curse may resurface, but it will be years, perhaps even decades, before it seeks a new bearer." I looked up at him, determination in my eyes. "Then we must find a way to destroy it once and for all." He nodded. "I've spent a lifetime searching for a way, but perhaps together, we stand a better chance." The days that followed were a blur. The town was abuzz with rumors about the mysterious fire in the woods and my sudden disappearance. But I remained tight-lipped, vowing never to speak of the calendar or the demon again. Life slowly returned to normal. The haunting memories of the advent calendar began to fade, replaced by the joys and challenges of everyday life. But the fear, the knowledge of the curse's potential return, always lingered in the back of my mind. Years passed, and I moved away from the town, seeking a fresh start. I met the love of my life, and together we built a family, welcoming Emma and Max into the world. The woods, the calendar, and the demon became distant memories, stories I hoped never to recount. But as Christmas approached one year, a familiar dread began to creep in. I found myself drawn to the attic, to an old box filled with childhood memories, and there, at the bottom, lay the ashes of the advent calendar. I realized then that the curse was not just mine to bear. It was a legacy, a story that needed to be told to protect future generations. And so, on that fateful night by the fireplace, I shared my tale with Emma and Max, hoping they would understand the importance of facing one's fears and the power of resilience. As I finished my story, I looked into their wide-eyed faces, seeing a mix of fear and admiration. "Remember," I whispered, "no matter how dark the night, there's always a dawn waiting to break." And with that, I took the ashes and cast them into the fireplace, watching as they were consumed by the flames, hoping that this time, the curse would be gone for good. The room was silent, save for the soft crackling of the fire. Emma and Max sat still, their faces a mix of awe and fear. The weight of the tale hung heavily in the air, the shadows in the room seeming to dance with a newfound intensity. I took a deep breath, feeling the warmth of the fire against my skin. "And that, my darlings, is the story of the Advent calendar," I whispered, my voice heavy with emotion. Max's eyes, wide and filled with 1,000 questions, met mine. "Mom, is the curse really gone?" I hesitated, searching for the right words. "I hope so, Max. I did everything I could to ensure it would never return. But some things, some curses, are beyond our understanding." Emma, ever the protective older sister, wrapped an arm around Max. "We're safe now, right? The demon won't come for us?" I pulled them both into a tight embrace, feeling their small hearts racing against mine. "I promise, I'll always protect you. The demon is gone, and we're safe." But as the words left my lips, a cold draft swept through the room, causing the fire to flicker momentarily. I glanced at the fireplace, my heart skipping a beat as I noticed a small pile of ashes, eerily reminiscent of the Advent calendar. Mr. Hawthorne's words echoed in my mind. "The curse may lie dormant for now, but there's no telling if it will ever truly be gone." I shook off the uneasy feeling, focusing on the present moment. "Now, off to bed, both of you. It's late, and Santa will be here soon." The children scampered off, their earlier fears forgotten in the excitement of Christmas Eve. But as I sat alone by the fireplace, the weight of the past pressing down on me, I couldn't shake off the lingering fear. The Advent calendar was gone, the demon vanquished, but the memories, the scars, remained. And as the night deepened, I couldn't help but wonder if the curse was truly broken, or if it lay in wait, biding its time, ready to resurface when least expected. I gazed into the dying embers, lost in thought. The warmth of the fire was comforting, but the shadows it cast seemed to take on a life of their own, dancing and swirling in the dim light. Every creak of the old house, every rustle of the wind outside, sent a shiver down my spine. I remembered the ageless face of Mr. Hawthorne, his cryptic words, and the haunting images of the calendar. The weight of responsibility, of protecting my children from the unknown, felt overwhelming. Pulling a blanket around me, I tried to shake off the unease. I told myself that the past was behind us, that we were safe. But deep down, a nagging doubt remained. The curse of the Advent calendar, the demon that had haunted my childhood, could it ever truly be gone? As the night deepened, the silence was almost deafening. The memories, the fear, the uncertainty, all weighed heavily on my heart. I clutched the blanket tighter, seeking solace in its warmth. The fire's glow began to wane, casting long, eerie shadows across the room. Could it ever truly be gone? I hope so. I really do. But as the fire dimmed and the room grew colder, the haunting legacy of the Advent calendar remained, a chilling reminder that some stories, no matter how hard we try, never truly end.